Hello, my name's Kenny Lang. I'm the Trust Chief Nursing Officer, and I'm going to take 5 minutes just to talk to you about the quality account, which today is officially published alongside our annual accounts and annual report. So the quality account is something that we do every year. It's an incredibly important opportunity for us to share the incredible work that happens in the organisation in terms of quality. Firstly, in terms of our performance around quality, but secondly, and really importantly, how we improve our quality and how we're never really satisfied with where we are in terms of quality. Even when our performance is good, we continuously look to improve and innovate. So we look back on the performance, as I've already mentioned, in terms of how we've done in 22-23, and I'll talk a little bit about that shortly. But we always focus on being outstanding in all that we do and how we do it. So firstly, just for a couple of minutes, I just want to talk about our quality priorities. People will be familiar with these, but it's always helpful to repeat. So we have got our 4 quality priorities. Firstly, our services will consistently be safe, because without safety we can't deliver quality, and we've always striving to make sure that we innovate in this area and are incredibly attentive to it. The second is that we will be personalised, so that all of our care will be personalised to the individual needs of everyone that uses our services. Thirdly, that our processes and structures will guarantee access. So in mental health, traditionally and historically, it has always been quite challenging for the general public and users to navigate the systems in terms of mental health. Historically, it was always a bit of a mystery. Lots of services were perceived to be built behind closed doors and walls, and we are absolutely striving to make sure that access is easy and simple, and that people don't find it difficult to get support with their mental health needs. And then our final priority in terms of quality is to make sure that we focus on the recovery needs of people who use mental health and learning disability services. Incredibly important. So there are 4 priorities, and we really emphasise on these in terms of reviewing how we're doing in our quality. So in terms of an overview, I just wanted to talk about how we look at quality. So we manage our performance very closely, and that does include a number of quality metrics. And these are some of the things that we were very proud of from last year. You'll see these and recognise these metrics from other areas of the NHS. So how quickly we follow people up following discharge from our hospital services is incredibly important. And we followed 100% of people at year end up within 7 days. And actually we followed up 98.5% of people within 48 hours. Now in mental health, that's incredibly important. It's nationally recognised that the period following discharge can be risky, and we make sure that we monitor that very, very closely. The other two key areas that I wanted to highlight is our performance last year around referral to assessment within 4 weeks, so that when people are referred into our services, we're making sure we're seeing them in a timely way, and making sure that people aren't waiting before having a mental health assessment. And we achieve that in 97.1% of our referrals. And in terms of our treatment, so people actually getting treatment, again at year end last year we managed to achieve that in 96.8% of our cases. So really good performance, but again we're not resting on our laurels, we're making sure that we're absolutely striving to improve that wherever possible. So in terms of some highlights from our quality account, I just wanted to pull those out. In terms of our safe quality priority, we've continued to do fantastic work on our zero suicide ambition. We regularly work with partners in terms of showcasing work in this area. It's highly complex, but we're a real leader in Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent in working towards that ambition. You've seen already from the video you've just watched in terms of our investment into our clinical environments, in mental health and learning disability services, inpatient settings, indeed all settings. It's really important that we keep up to date with the latest innovations in terms of reducing risk and improving safety, and we've done that through our Project Chrysalis programme, and that will continue into next year and the year beyond. And then finally, improved our working practice in terms of safeguarding as well. In terms of personalised, a few highlights from the quality account included opening our Wellbeing College. This is something we've wanted to invest in and really embed in our clinical practice for a number of years now, and that has really got off the ground in the last year in 22-23, open to both staff, service users and families to learn together about well-being and mental health, and that really has a fantastic impact on people both coming into our services and also transitioning back out of our services, and there's a fantastic opportunity for people to learn together in a very co-produced way. The other thing I wanted to just pick out was the work that started last year and again is continuing into this year in terms of the replacement of the care programme approach and really focusing on much improved care planning processes, which is a fantastic innovation. In terms of access, some of the highlights I wanted to pick out was the launch of our all-age wellbeing portal, which again really supports people to be able to access mental health and learning disability services online in a much more straightforward way than may historically have been the case. And also you saw in the video around our expansion of our mental health workers in primary care networks, again, which is really focusing on people being able to access mental health services very quickly from their GP and not having to come into specialist services, but see practitioners where they live in the surgery that they access routinely. And then finally, on recovery, a really important approach. We've done a huge amount of work looking at embedding the expertise of people with lived experience in the organisation, working alongside our clinical teams to offer that peer support to people who are experiencing mental health difficulties. And co-production was a really important aspect of the things that we're trying to do in the organisation, which is use that expertise of people with lived experience to improve the service provision, improve some of our internal governance, and generally have more of a influence for people who have been through mental health difficulties in how we design and run our services, which is an incredibly important aspect of what we do. So that brings me on to the video, which is fantastic and describes some of that work around helping people with lived experience influence how we deliver care in a combined healthcare.
My manager has always said, if you live with mental distress, you've got superpowers. And at first I didn't think that. I didn't think that what I had was a good thing, but I believe that it does give you superpowers now. Because, well, she messaged me one day and said there's a job and I'd like you to apply for it. And at the time I didn't feel like I was ready, it's still in recovery. But I applied and I've never been so nervous in the entire life because it actually meant something to me. So I applied for the job and to my surprise I got the job. I didn't really know what I'd applied for at the time. It was for a peer recovery coach. I didn't know what the job would entail, but I thought I'm just going to go for it. And since then, I've come on leaps and bounds with my mental health, but it's a job I enjoy that I know I can hold down.
We work out things together, just work it out, and it's just brilliant. I just really enjoy it. I think we both benefit from it. It's not like a one-way thing where I'm just helping one person. They help me as much as I help them. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's just like rewarding knowing that I'm in this role and helping other people as well. Like some that are of like a similar age to me or a lot older than me. And it makes me realise that it doesn't matter what age you are, that anyone can suffer with mental health.
I've got a real purpose now, because which is, you know, every day, week in, week out. I've got that community, that support. I've also got a status of a sort of regular job, which I feel really helps me, you know. And I feel much more confident because I'm interacting with people every day.
And there are like some days as well where like I have to pinch myself and I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting ready for work, kind of thing. And I have to remind myself that I'm doing it for a reason, because like me a couple of years ago never saw a purpose or like reached out for anything if I wanted to like have that. But now it's like I've got a purpose and I'm helping others as well as myself along the way. But I think it's just nice to know that you've made that difference, and I think all it takes is just that little conversation with that person. And when I have come across service users that are in distress, I always do reassure them before, like, you don't have to tell me what is going on, but I'm here for you.
So I think something we could maybe look into, which with the peer support role is already happening, would be to maybe liaise a bit more with the community and the services that are out there. Not just because I've got my own charity experience, but because I would have found really helpful to liaise with groups that were really aware of what the service does, and so maybe we could look at organising meetings and liaising more with the community, not necessarily with NHS-led support services, but community services. That would be really helpful. I know that the Trust are working hard already to liaise with charities, but there's definitely a lot more that can be done. And I think that's where the peer support workers, not just myself, I know that there's more vacancies out there, and actually they've hired a peer support worker recently for paternity. I think that's where the peer support can really come in.
Being a peer recovery coach I love it. I work with so many different service users. They've all got different needs, they're all in different stages of the recovery. I feel like I benefit them. I wish I had a recovery coach, because I think what you need when you're in that dark place is to feel validated, to not feel it's isolating, you're pushing people away, but to know you've got that person that you can turn to, that you can call if you need to, that if you're struggling with certain aspects of your life, they've got your back every single step, and I think it's invaluable. They just understand because they've been there, and it's really difficult because as much as your family and your friends might love you, it doesn't mean that they understand what you're going through. And when you are going through it, it's a very difficult thing to explain, but they don't need to explain. And I think that's what's nice, that you just get them.
I remember thinking, not just because I would have loved to get the job because I want to be a peer support worker, but in this trust, I wanted to be one. I am very, very, very proud, very